Windy Bill here, and today we are going to talk about the reservoir above the Pacific Palisades fire. Everybody questions why the water was empty, why the water was drained, why it was empty. Well, it all started back in 2011. The State Water Resource Board condemned the reservoir due to the fact that it did not have a cover. All water has to be covered if it's going to be used for drinking water. So, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power contracted. They drained it, had a nice schedule. It was drained for a little over a year, and they contracted and had a cover design. They had to change the inlet, the outlet, repave it, and do a lot of work to it. And then they promptly refilled it back in service. Well, that worked until sometime they're saying it looks like it's February of 2000. Oh, let me find my notes here. February of 2024 is when they had to drain it again. Because the cover had a tear in it. And the government said, the state said that you can't use that for drinking water. It's contaminated. But we're going to do Google Earth. We're going to go back. So we have January of 2025. It's empty, of course. By the way, there was a pilot that flew over that uses this for a landmark when he's flying. And that was 2 weeks before the fire, and it was dry as a bone then. Empty. Okay, 7 of 23. Folks, don't tell me that doesn't look pretty much dry to you. You know, we look at the rim. This looks like it's where it's sloped. And we got it there. It doesn't look like it's got very much water in it, but we could be wrong. That definitely looks like it has very little water in it. That was April of 22. Same thing. Same thing. 21. We're just going back. I'm back into 18. 17. 14. 13. 12. Okay, and that's 4 of 2011. I'm going to go back one more. There it's full. And there it's full. That was in 08 and 09. A nice looking reservoir. So they're working on it. They're putting the cover on it. And the cover is on it. And I can't tell if it's got water in it or not. To me, it does not look like it has much water in it. Looks like the water level's clear down around here. But I could be wrong. But we know there on 1 of January of 25, that's empty. There is no water in it. It was drained in February of 24. Took less than a year, or right around a year, for them to get it drained, a new cover put on it, all the modifications made to it that they had to change, and back in service in a little over a year and a half, the most. And now it's been a year and no work has even been done on it, it appears. There's no construction equipment on site, no repair equipment on site. They're saying it takes a long time to get bids. Well, maybe when you have a issue that's should be a high priority, you should have stuff expedited. But no, we have 3 1-million-gallon water tanks that will work. They were their emergency backup. Lucky they had it. But we don't know the status of that. Were they all full? They only pump water at night because it's cheaper. That's all water companies. So we don't know by 10 o'clock when the fire started, how full, what was the level of those water tanks? Were they full first thing in the morning when the pump shut off? Or did the pump shut off and they were only like half full? We don't know that. Although there is documents out there that will tell you that. But where does this reservoir get its water? Well, this water comes to this reservoir in a 30-inch pipeline from the Stone Canyon Reservoir. And I'm going to zoom out and move over there. Got a little story on that one also. So I'll be back as soon as I get it up on the screen. Okay, there's the Stone Canyon Reservoir. Beautiful reservoir. But that's not the one the water comes from. It used to. That's what it was built for. It used to come from there. Nice beautiful dam there that was built. Right above this track, houses. Oh, but look. Look at the little reservoir up top. Let me go out. Look at the size of this reservoir. This is a reservoir that has the water in it that goes to the reservoir by the Pacific Palisades by a 30-inch pipeline. This reservoir, because they couldn't put a cover on it, they decided it's not suitable for drinking water. So a diversion pipe was put around the reservoir to bypass it. This is no longer used for water. It's just sitting there for looks. They have a tendency not to use it too much for recreational purposes. So it's just a waste of money to maintain. Should be put back in service. Because this reservoir up here in my opinion does not have enough water for situations of droughts and problems that we have in this country. And we're hoping that soon the fire department gets a handle on all these fires, gets them put out, and we lose no more homes. But there's always a chance that there'll be more fires, you know. the wind, the weather, we still have more wind predicted. If it happened once, it can happen again. The Panorama fire in San Bernardino was the same type of situation. Fire started up in the mountains. Dispatched a full response. It started in the evening. And all of a sudden the heavy winds came off the mountain and it burnt clear to the freeway. Well, the same thing happened here, but on a much larger scale. So what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to try to get these people to be able to rebuild, if they have the money to do it. As most people know, most of the fire insurance companies have walked away from California. Right after the fire was over, State Farm decided they were walking away also. We do have the state self-insured fire insurance that some people had. But if anybody remembers, back around 71, we had the self-insurance, state insurance for earthquakes. And we had the Selmar earthquake, and lo and behold, they went bankrupt. They couldn't pay out. They did not have enough money to pay out for all the damage. Is that going to happen here? Are these people going to be left high and dry with a bankrupt insurance company? Personally, if that happens, with the way California is spending money, maybe the whole state should go under bankrupt. Do we need a city mayor? No, not really. She's off playing in Africa, having a good old time on the city's dime, while her town's burning down. When she got news of it, she didn't even cancel her trip. Oh well, the city's burning down, but I'm going to stay over here and party. Not good. Same person who cut the fire department budget. Well, somebody was saying here a while back is, why didn't the fire chief hold everybody over that day that they had the warnings for the high winds? The shift going off, because there's A, B, and C shifts. I used to work in the fire service, 30 years. I know about the scheduling and shifts. Why didn't they hold people over? Well, if you have a factory where it takes 100 people to work it, and you're running 3 shifts, and you get behind, you're going to hold people over? No, because now you have a person running a machine and somebody standing behind him watching. Fire service is about the same. You hold people over, and that's great. Now you have a fire station double staffed. You still only have 1 fire truck. They can maybe squeeze 1 or 2 people into. A medical squad that they can squeeze 1 or 2 more people into, maybe. But it's going to be out on medical stuff that they don't need those extra help. So what do you do with the firemen you held over? Oh, put them in reserve equipment. Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do. Go over to the storage area and have a lot of running equipment that could be brought to these stations, put into reserve, and double staff and staff that equipment. but you have to have running equipment. Los Angeles County Fire Department does not have extra running equipment. They have what they have. They have nothing else, no extra equipment. They don't even have enough mechanics to keep the equipment running. That they have. As we was talking about the reserve equipment, you need to have reserve equipment. I worked for a county fire department, and in my station, we had our first out equipment. I had one engine and one rescue ambulance squad, but we also had a second engine in reserve, a second ambulance in reserve, and some other equipment, miscellaneous, that we could use for special stuff. Heavy rescue. And we also had volunteers, so, and not really volunteers, paid call firefighters. They could come in and help us out occasionally. But you walk out to your fire truck, it started just fine first thing this morning. The alarm bell rings, you go out there and it won't start. Things happen. We could grab our turnout gear, jump in the other fire truck, and off we went. You know, now you don't have to worry about a station that's 10 minutes further away responding to your call. You can still go there. The problem we have in today's world is nobody thinks about the what if. What if the truck don't start? Oh no, they start every time you turn the key. They don't think about the what if. What if we get 80 mile an hour winds, 100 mile an hour winds, and the fire starts? Nobody thinks about that anymore. We would go on training. I was incident commander. I was certified incident commander. I was certified safety officer. Certified heliport operator. Carried a lot of certifications. I was a firefighter and retired medic. I did not have my local certification for the medic, but I went and did the college course and got certified. But as an administrative captain, I couldn't be committed to doing a medical when there was so much other things that had to be done. Now, in my fire town, we had the Big Bear Landers earthquake, and that was a large situation. We manned up, we had everything we needed. We had no problems. Mutual aid is something that's always planned ahead. We would do training exercises where we would take and we'd meet at a college campus or somewhere that had a lot of room, and we'd build a whole strike team, a whole fire incident, using footage and information from a previous fire. San Bernardino Mountains burn. They burn a lot. Like I said, the Panorama fire burnt down half of Devore Heights. It burnt down hundreds of homes. But we planned for all that. Do I think that they're planning for that now? No. No, they're short-staffed. When you're short-staffed, you have to make a lot of cuts. And they're never a good cut. So one of the things that we need to look at is everybody in that area needs to take a good hard look at who they have in office and a good hard look at what their policies are. You've got the illegals that we're putting up in motels. We've got the illegals that we're handing out Visa gift cards to. That's fine, but what do those illegals do? They're not here legally. They work cheaper than the people that live here, so they end up getting the people that live here legally, the United States citizens, they start taking over their jobs, squeezing them out. It's cheaper to hire 2 or 3 illegals than it is to hire one person that's 100% legal. Oh, State Board of Contractors. You know, an illegal citizen, illegal alien can get a contractor's license in California. That's not good. I think if they walk into a business and you've hired illegal aliens to work for you, that's the end of the business. You know, the problem is we have the lack of employment everywhere. And I was saying on another video earlier that it's simple to fix homeless. Yeah, it is. Very simple. You take the person, you feed them, you pick up their image, you get them back on their feet. You train them to do jobs. Most of them have good training already. You retrain them on their jobs, get them back active. But what are you going to do with them after that? Are they going to commute to China to go to work? Or Taiwan or Japan or wherever? Because we don't build anything in this country anymore. They're going to have to rebuild all these homes. And guess what? 90% of the stuff going in those homes will be coming from China. We build disposable homes nowadays. Most of the homes they build nowadays look like they only have like about a 50 to 100 year lifespan, if even that. Pressed cardboard molding, pressed cardboard doors, pressed cardboard cabinets. Not particle board, pressed cardboard. Recycled cardboard. As soon as the moisture or water hits it, it swells up and falls apart. So we really need to take a good look at this country and decide how we're going to get ourselves back on our feet. Reach down, grab a hold of our bootstraps, and folks, let's get this country back together. Let's stop spending money on stuff that we do not absolutely have to have. We have electric cars. Everybody wants to go electric. But we do not have a power grid that can support it. Then the insurance companies come out and tell you, oh, that nice electric car you have, guess what? It's got to be parked 20 feet from your house. You can't park it in your garage or they won't insure your house. Because they catch fire too easy. You have an electric car get in a traffic accident. Now you got a hazardous material incident that you have to deal with. And a fire. Oh, a semi-truck carrying lithium battery unit for a battery storage unit. Turns over on Interstate 15, shuts down the freeway for a week. We're not there yet, folks. We need to keep working at it. And all electric is a nice dream, but it's never going to work. Electric trucks to haul stuff cross country. Okay, so the truck driver drives long enough to run down his batteries. He pulls into a truck stop, charges his batteries for 6-8 hours. Then he goes out and drives another 4 or 5 hours, charges his batteries again. He's not going to make a living doing that. He can't afford that. In order for the truck driver to survive nowadays, they have to drive as many miles as possible because they get paid so little. Electric trains are fancy. A lot of countries use them. We can't. We don't have the energy for that. We have the new train going from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. And it's going to be electric. And they're pulling it from the solar panels and the that bird burner solar plants there in State Line. We've got solar panels here in Pahrump that are huge. Most of them are offline most of the time. Problem being, solar is not cheap. Solar is some of the most expensive electricity you can buy when you're a power company. Our power company here in town does not buy a lot of solar, only for that reason. We try to keep the prices down. We're full of retired people. So when we start saying we're going to put money away to sue the president and putting money away to save a lot of little fish that float down into the ocean that has to have a little fresh water splashed on them. Sorry about that. Camera had overheated and I lost the end of my video. So I had to bring the camera back out, hook up, and make it over. That end of it over. We was talking about the little fish, yeah. I'm not against protecting endangered species, but not at the cost of human lives, farming, food, health. You know, if we had environmentalists back in the prehistoric ages, can you imagine? Oh, the dinosaurs are an endangered species. Oh, look, it just ate Wilma. Yeah, no, I don't think so. But yeah, we have the pupfish here in Nevada, and each one is different. And yeah, as long as we're not endangering people's lives by lack of water, we're not ruining farming, then we need to protect them. Let's see, the pack rat. That was endangered for a long time. Kangaroo rat. They run by the thousands out here in the desert. Don't want to lose them. You know, there's a butterfly up in northern Nevada that only eats this one flower, and it's a protected area. But yet we see that same butterfly all over northern Nevada. They're up there by the millions. So, yeah. Somebody gets an idea, they run with it, and everybody just stops and listens. Okay, we talked a little bit about all this, and I do controversial videos every once in a while. I do it on the radioactive alfalfa that they fed the cattle in Armagosa Valley that was for the dairy that sent milk to the kids. Nobody knew any better. You know, that's back when we had, in the 50s, you could buy your 9-year-old a nuclear science kit. came with some radioactive rocks and a couple of very good little pieces of equipment for they could do scientific projects. We had the Santa Susana power plant that nobody knew about up in the Santa Susana Mountains of Los Angeles. Have a nuclear reactor meltdown with no containment dome. Contaminated everywhere. Government hid it from us for years. Almost 30 to 40 years. And if it wasn't for a college student that picked up a box of stuff while looking for 3 Mile Island information he found hidden, we would have never known about it. Do you know at one time we was going to set off 7 nuclear bombs to build a highway through some mountains? Would have contaminated the soil for 100 years and high contamination throughout that whole highway. After spending all that money, do you think they would have told us? Probably not. So watch my videos once in a while. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to make this channel grow. I want it to grow large enough that it needs to help support me since I've retired. I can get out and do more videos, do a lot better stuff. Thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great evening, great morning, or great day. This video will be coming out Saturday morning. And hopefully, I will be on the road heading up to film some Northern Nevada videos. Everybody have a great evening. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.